Because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, stay with me here. This is an hourly chart here on the gold, and I focused on this in the video that I sent out early this morning. You will see here that we have an ABCD move to the downside, and the strength of that ABCD move should have stopped right here at 329. But as we've always mentioned, when you have that CD leg that is so very, very strong, you can see it's going to go down a lot lower. All you have to do is to go in and change the CD leg to 127, and you're going to see that you're going to be very, very close to the absolute bottom, and there it is. Now you can see here, we're now rallied back to the 38% of the whole move that we had from the early Friday, okay? That's a 38% retracement right here at 33.57. Now there's no ABCD pattern here, but that is a pretty good move. Now this rally has been stronger than the last rally. So there's a possibility that this could be a pretty good bottom. Now, this was important for your intraday trading. If you'd have just taken this on a 13-minute chart and just watched it, what happened, there's your move. I've just done this before you anyway. There's the bottom right here. Then you come up, there's your 382 right here at 35. The 50% is at 31. So if you bought at 35 and risk a few bucks, look how much you would have made. That would have been well over $2,000 for a very, very small amount. This was telling you that this was complete. This was verification that that's how much the risk was, and that's what we're looking at. Now, let's get to real life. Okay, now I have a very, very dear friend. We were born on the same day. I'm about 10 years older than him, and he's in Philadelphia. He's one of the largest reclaimers of metals in the eastern United States, and that means pretty much all over the United States. But anyway, let me just show you. He has a position today in the platinum market. Let me get up here and show you. We'll get up here. I want to, because this is very, very important. There's where we were. Friday, we came in. We had sold the 1.618 retracement here at 1178. Okay, now this morning platinum opened a tiny bit lower, and then you can see it shot all the way up in here. Well, we put a stop of $10 on this. So if we went from 1177 to 1187, we were probably wrong, because if you look at the weekly chart on this, look what it was doing, folks. There's your actual high today, and that's where we reshorted it here at 22. The high has been 28. It's now $8 in the good, but he didn't stay short that whole distance right there. He got out at 78 and put it back up here at 24 is where he sold it, 24, and now it's at 14. So that should be it if that's the case. Now we did look at this ABCD pattern right here, but this was, we looked at on the daily and not on the weekly. And if you'd have done the weekly, you'd have seen here that it was stopped here at 64. That's where our sell was right here. Well, because of the strength of this, hello operator, what does that tell us? That it's going to go a lot higher than just the one-to-one. So it's going to go to 127, and you put that up in here, 127, and there it is right there. And the high has been, well, it says 42. The high has been 28. But folks, remember, the smart thing, and this is what he did. He sold it here, right there on the daily. Just look at it again, because there's where it should have been sold, right at the 1.618 expansion. Look at these big moves here. It's gone $200 an ounce, folks, in 5 days with gold going down the sewer. So that was it. Now you look at the daily. Then you switch over to the weekly, and the stops have to be different, of course, and that's why he reinstituted trade when it got up to here. He didn't sit through that to the whole amount, because his original sell was 1177. He got out at 1187 and then reshorted it at 1224. So that's good money management that he instituted, and that's why it's important when you do these things to watch it. Okay, now the live cattle market. I know we haven't done too well in cattle this last trade, but you'll notice here, today we were looking for it to possibly get up to right here. Now you notice we took out the high from Friday. There was your high. We took out the slightly higher high right here in the cattle, and then of course we've come down, we've matched it up a little bit. It's starting to roll over just a tiny bit. On the daily chart, this is screaming, please sell me. The question is, was it going to get to this level right here? This is what I thought it would get to, 120.17. It only got to 120.99. Excuse me, 219.95 was the high. Okay, so it missed it by about 20 points. Now, if that's the case, you can see we're in the lower end of the range right now. This could be a pretty significant move here in cattle, but you're sitting there waiting for the signal to get in, and that's what I'm waiting for. It's all about risk control, folks. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you don't lose. Now, I want to get back up here because we're at such a critical point here in the stock market that I want to be able to talk to you about this S&P thing that we were watching. And we'll get this out of the way, and it'll pop up here. There it is right now. Now, you can see we've taken out the high. Now, if this is the case, I haven't reinstituted the S&P futures because we sold that at 22 with a stop at 32 based on this particular pattern. All right, well, let's go over and we'll put the tile vertical up here. Then we'll be able to bring the E-mini chart up here, and you can see it's still at 22, hasn't really done very much. Stop is at 32. But that's what I'm doing. And the reason for that, folks, is two reasons. That's a beautiful pattern. This is a beautiful 3-drive to a top pattern. Might be off by a day or two, but that's what we're paying attention to. If we look at the Dow Jones, you can see the Dow Jones this morning. Look at this morning. Look at this. Look at the ABCD 3-drive to a bottom right after the opening. Look, it's 60. What does it do? Rallies 250 points straight up. And the real key to that one was, look, you have your first big move up. You don't back off hardly at all. Let's look at this. There's your first retracement. You don't even make a 382. You don't even make a 382 on this, and you just keep going higher. It was telling you wanted to go higher. So don't want to stand in front of that thing when it's doing that, all right? So that's my assumption, that you're not going to stand in front of it. Okay, now let's get back to the soybeans are back to where we originally bought them. The wheat is back to where we originally bought them. We're still hanging in there okay, and I think that we're going to be all right on the longer term frame. Last night we did, early this morning, about 1 o'clock in the morning, we did complete an ABCD, and now we're just backing down into this same area. I think it's got a long way to go to the upside. Our stop is down below here, so we're in the wheat business as a farmer, and we're going to find out how that works. The soybean meal is still working okay. Now, I've been asked to take a look at the hog market. We got out of the hogs on Friday. I'm looking for a place to reshort them, and we'll here's the hogs, get the hourly chart up like this, and you can see we are back still to where we were before. This is, there's still, shucks, get this out of the way. There's cattle, there's your hogs on your 60-minute. You can see it's up a little bit today, so it hasn't topped yet, folks. Let's take a break. We got Winsky at the break.
This year has already been a wild ride for the market. We started off heavily in the red, traversed back to all-time highs, and we now have a trade war looming. Trying to play this chop as an individual trader leads to death by 1,000 cuts. Where does this market go next? Should I add to this position or cut my losses? Where is the next opportunity? Tariffs, trade wars, analysis paralysis. Don't become a victim of this intense market. Instead, join Larry Pesavento over the second and fourth Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading. Larry has been through many markets just like this one, and the insight he provides is invaluable. The dates for this month are April 11th and 25th, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern Time. Get in here and let's start trading. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look at the live hog market. We sold it there. We took a loss on that of $500. I'm just bringing it to your attention here, folks. It's up higher than where we got out. All right. Now, I'm sure it might be up in here, but once it breaks these numbers like this, my hands are tied because I don't want to take any risk. And we made a higher high again today. So all I'll be waiting for now is to see the hogs back off a little bit. Whether it's like this or whether it's like this, I'm not sure. But these are major numbers that we're watching here in the hog market and also in the cattle market. Cattle doing pretty much the same thing. It'll probably be the day or two when I start to look at cattle on the downside. They're actually starting to move a little bit lower today. We're looking at them on a smaller time frame today. You see we opened higher. I thought we were going to get up to this level. This is where I was going to take a nibble at it for myself, but I didn't get it. And now we just been on the downside. There was your opening range this morning. Went higher than Friday. You broke 200 points to 250. That's over $1,000. Rallied up, made a new high. And then I thought we were going to get up here, but it's not. It's starting to move over. So all I'll wait for is my first good ABCD pattern, and then I'll be able to get in it and see where we are with that. By the way, if you did the cattle, if you did the short sale in the shut the front door, Larry. If you did the short sale in the gold that we did when we were talking here this morning, we were right up here to 57. It's now 54.70. Keep your stop up here at around 59. That way you don't have to risk too much at all. So that's what we're paying attention to here with that. And now we want to get a few other things out of our way. I've already covered that. I've already covered the Treasury bonds. Let's take a look at the euro. The euro has been a good performer for us for quite a while. Let's get the hourly chart up on that. You'll be able to see last night we had a really nice move to the upside, stopping exactly at the old there's where we were last night. Okay, then we had a beautiful ABCD pattern here all during the evening. You can see there it is, right there. And this was during the radio show, or excuse me, when I sent the video out. That told us that we were looking at a really nice retracement right in here, and then it had a pretty good break, and now it's still hanging in there. And your stop would be right about break even now if we're going to be doing that. Now, one other one that's in the news quite a bit is the Japanese yen, the dollar yen. And we'll bring that to your attention because that's really an indication of risk on, risk off. And we'll get the hourly chart up on this, and you can see the dollar has been weakening just a little bit today, but not very much at all. You can see there was a number we were looking at from the high that we made right back here. There's the potential for that if it can get there, but that's such a figment of someone's imagination right now. But the day's low was very, very important, folks. If you take your low from right back here, hold on one second, let's draw this in. This is from June 1st low, and you put it in. Today's low was spot on at 382, and it's rallied $500, $600, $700. So that's telling you maybe this little number here is going to be really important. That's what we look at is when we're trying to see how much money you risk. It's not how much money you make. It's how much money you have at risk and how much money you don't lose. That's the key to looking at this. Okay, we get the Japanese yen out of the way. And then we've also been asked to take a look at Apple. Norm Winsky will be our guest here at the break. We're going to look at the usual suspects here. In this, the first one is Apple. I heard it was down on the day. It's doing nothing. I think it's up a bit actually now. What do they know? All right, move this around. Yeah, it's actually up on the day. It's actually holding its own. Looks like it got a pretty good chance to make a little bit higher high in here. So let's take a look now at Tesla. See how the feud's going between the two high school students. Hold on a second here. Well, by the way, folks, regarding the riots in Los Angeles, well, here's the Tesla. It is actually up on the day now. There was a Friday's low. Then we rallied up to this level right here. And that's what we're paying attention to. 1 second, I got to hit the beeper off with the profit objective in the Treasury bonds. And that's it. This is where we are with the today's low, as you can see, looks like a perfect 61% retracement. We've been rallying strongly since then. By the way, folks, regarding the riots in Los Angeles, I lived there during the riots oh my God, the Watts rally of 1968. That was the worst one ever. That burned that whole place down. Then Rodney King, I think, was 1990. That was just a bad one. And this one here that we're looking at is just about the same as Rodney King. But Rodney King, there were several people were killed, but there's still probably that chance. But you hate to see it. What they're doing is they're really clogging the traffic. When you block that 101, that's in the middle of the crossroads of right in downtown Los Angeles. That screws up everything for a long time. So if you live there, you know what it's like. Anyway, that's what we're watching here. Tesla has a really good rally back of $20 a day. So that's a sign that it's holding up at pretty good levels. All right, now let's move on here. We have a question about the corn market. Just give me up. Remember, we want to buy corn if it gets just a tiny bit lower. This is the December. You can see we had a little bit of a rally. We still got a chance to buy this. We're still in the growing, just starting the growing season, folks. All right, now you can see the rally we had last night into Friday. You can see there's the overnight Friday high. All that did last night was go up to the 78% level, just about exact. And this is a buy here. Now it's backing down again. This means we still got a chance. Putting this up on the long-term daily, we still got a chance to get filled down here at 26. That's only 16 cents away. That would really be a very nice trade. You can see you got your pattern here. You've got another one coming in right behind it, and this is why it looks pretty interesting. All right, that's it. Hold on, let's draw this in, and you'll see there's your ABCD leg right here. That'll get you down to this level right here. There's the level. We're going to buy it here. We had 26, so you buy it at 28. That's 10, 12 cents where it is right now. Let's write that in. I like this trade a lot, folks, because at that level right here, what you'll be doing is you'll be making a really nice 3 drive to a bottom pattern. Drive 1, drive 2, drive 3, lots of symmetry. Oh my goodness, that's everything you could ask for. So the order would read, we want to buy Christmas corn. That's December, Larry. But for those of you that know, just a second. These corn at $4.29. And put a stop at $4 418. You're going to risk $500. All right. That means that you own 5,000 acres of this stuff here. You get 5,000 bushels. That's about 400 acres. And anyway, you don't have to have anything other than just to put the order in and buy it in the futures market. You don't have to own the property. You don't have to lease it. You don't have to hire anybody to watch it. You don't have to pray for rain. All you do is you buy it there and sell it there. You become a farmer. You can't beat that. You don't have to do all the stuff necessary to be a farmer, the tractors and all this other stuff. No way in the heck if you want to mess with that. Now, let's check the old clock on the wall here, because we got Mr. Winsky coming up here at the top of the hour here. We've got another second, and then we'll be right back with Norm Winsky, folks.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're speaking with Norm Winsky of Astro Trends. Welcome to the show, Norm. What do you got for us today?
Hello, Larry. Thank you very much for having me on your show. Can you hear me okay?
Coming in perfectly.
Great. I was last on your show on May 22, and we had a couple of points there for the cycles culminating that night. And then we had a four-star cluster over the May 23rd weekend. That was a Memorial Day weekend. It was a 3-day weekend. So keep that in mind. All my charts are as of last night. Today is Monday, June 9th. So I did these charts over the weekend. So they're not updated for the intraday today, but it won't matter because we're eventually going to get to what's coming up, and that's a day or two out. So let's just quickly review what I said the last time I was on your show. On the night of the 22nd, we had Uranus to the U.S. chart. Anytime we have the U.S. chart involved, for the new people, what is the U.S. chart? We take a snapshot of where the planets were when the country was founded on July the 4th, 1776, and then compare where the planets are to those planets. So we had Uranus to the U.S. chart. Anytime we have the U.S. chart, we look at stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. Then we had a pretty big thing here with also that night, the night of the 22nd. From the point of view of the sun, that's called heliocentric. The planet Neptune changed signs, entered Aries. Well, that only occurs, it takes Neptune 165 years to go around the sun. And so it's 165 years ago when, from a helio point of view, it does this geocentrically, or from the point of view Earth also, but not the same day, but in the same general time period, Anyway, it's been 165 years since Neptune left the sign of Pisces and entered Aries. And so they change the signs about every 14 years. So we're going to look at coffee. I said we should look at coffee, corn, gold, oil, silver, sugar, wheat for that. And then over the 3-day weekend, the May 23 weekend, on these trades, we're looking for an opportunity on the next morning's opening when they're AC after the close. And we're looking for a market that's moving up or down. If it's going sideways, we don't do anything, okay? So then we had, over the weekend, Memorial Day weekend, we had from the geo, is short for geocentric, from the point of view of the Earth, Saturn's changing signs. You notice we've had quite a few of these the last couple of months. So it kind of says we're entering a new era here. It's a whole new era here. And so Saturn entered Aries, and we'll be looking at coffee, corn, gold, silver, sugar, wheat. By the way, if you want any help with any of these technical terms or want any further explanation of how I come to these conclusions, give me a call. I'll give you a free class if you get a hold of me in the next few days. So then over the Memorial Day weekend, we also had Helio, again, from the point of view of the sun. Jupiter lined up with, Jupiter is in Cancer, lined up with Uranus in Taurus, the bull, and we want to pay attention to that in particular because that's cattle and cotton and also copper and silver. We'll be looking at all the charts here in a minute. And then we also had over that weekend Mercury, a big Mercury cycle for the grains, corn, soybeans, wheat, and we had a new moon in the sign of Gemini, and it was also perigee when the moon is closest. That only lines up about every 14 months. Anytime we have a new moon, full moon, we want to be looking at financials, grains, precious metals, and oil. So here we go with the charts. We had 1 point for the night of the 22nd for corn and 3 points over that Memorial Day weekend right there. And you can see that was pretty good. That was, this is, I bent the rules just a tiny bit. The difference between that high and that high is a 1 tick. That's it. So I bent the rules by 1 tick. And so otherwise we would have to not allow that. But try to be right within 1 day. And you see you're right in a topping period there. And then you had a big down in corn. Soybeans, if you sold against that high there, you had 2 points there over the Memorial Day weekend. And that also led to a big decline. Wheat was not friendly at all And there we go. We're coming down here into our first point there for the wheat, and that was a miss. And then it went sideways. It didn't go anywhere, and then it went sideways. So I had 3 points for that, and I'm counting that as a triple pass. Cattle, we want to pay attention to cattle because, as you know, Larry, cattle's, I think, it just made, if not today, Friday, made new all-time highs, right, Larry?
Did it today, too, Norm.
What's that again?
It did it again today. It hit 120 in cattle.
All right, well, there you go. August cattle at new all-time highs, and that's the kind of thing I like to see. I like to see markets at extreme, and they coincide with cycles that point to that market. So anyway, back here on the Memorial Day weekend, we had something lined up. Oh, yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Uranus had Jupiter lined up with Uranus, and Uranus was in the sign of Taurus, the bull, and you can see there you made a nice high there, nice one-day high, and then a big drop. I think that was like, see if I remember right, 5 handles. Let's see, 11. Yep, that was 5 handles in one day, Larry. Wow, that's $5. That's $2,000, right?
Sure is. A little more.
Yeah, there you go. So now we're on the highs here now, and I got this morning, over the week this weekend, we just had Venus, which is the ruling planet of Taurus the Bull, enter its own sign of Taurus the Bull, and you said the cattle was selling off a bit, I think. And we also have another big cycle coming up here in a couple of days, which I will talk about here in a little bit. There's cotton on that same cycle. It's like an astro cousin to cattle. And there you go. And you're making on the highest high there and a drop. Coffee went 50-50 on, 51, one good one, one bad one there. That was not good. But then it dipped here into our next point for coffee, and it popped up about, I think that was about 5 handles there for coffee, maybe even 10. Looks like 10 from 55 to 65. That's $3,750. All right, so sugar, we got both sides of the market there. Had a dip there, and then popped up there for a nice high. So that was perfect. And then oil, it kind of the same pattern. You had a dip there in our first point, and then made a nice top there. Had a chance to make money on both sides of the market there with a 2-day period. Here's a really nice top here on copper. And as you know, Larry, copper is a bit of a beast in that every penny moves. Oh.
Got to take a break. We'll be right back with Norm Winsky, folks. Stay with us, please.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, we're back, folks, with Norm Winsky of Astro Trends. Please continue, Norm.
Thank you, Larry. When we went off to commercial land there, we were looking at the copper chart. I was mentioning copper was a bit of a beast because every penny movement in copper is at $250, and it's not unusual for copper to move 5 to 10 cents in a day. So it could be some substantial money there. On that top there, we hit, you got, just under 490, and it dropped down to, about 465. So just to round it off, we'll call it 20 cents there. That's $5,000, you know? So
sure
there you
is.
go. All right. So anyway, the reason I did that one, sorry about that. Reason I picked that date earlier, we had mentioned Uranus. There was a Uranus cycle there over that Memorial Day weekend, and I have a Uranus associated with copper. Okay, so there we go. There's silver. And silver, we had a point for the night of the 22nd, so we looked to do something on the opening next morning. That'd be opening the 23rd, and you can see it made a little short-term low there and then popped up for a nice little short-term top there with our 3 points over the Memorial Day weekend. And I think that was about 75 cents on the upside and about $1 or full handle on the downside. Here's gold. We had both sides of the market here. Had a little pullback low there for the gold and then popped up for that nice top there. And I think that dropped, if I remember right, about 130 handles, 33.80 down to 32.80, maybe 100 handles. Okay. All right. Well, I just have to cut back on the champagne and caviar a little bit, you know. Okay. And then that was a joke, Larry. All right.
I got it.
And then we'll move it ahead here. Here's my train wreck of the day now. Didn't do so well in the S&P. We had a great low here. The night of the 22nd was fabulous. We had these 2 points here for the stock market, and if you bought there, you were very happy coming in to the Tuesday after the holiday. But then we had 4 points for Memorial Day weekend. Red is bad, green good, you know, right? And so we had 4 misses there. So that's my train wreck of the day. Usually my S&P is much better than that, but every now and then you get a clunker, right, Laurie?
Yes, sir.
Not perfect. All right, so here's the T-bonds. T-bonds not so friendly. We had a point there for the T-bonds, and that really didn't work very well. And then the next one right there is going sideways. Yellow is a pass. Okay, so red is a miss, green is good, and yellow is a pass. And here's, you were talking earlier about some of the currencies, and wait till you see what happened here in the currencies. Starting with the dollar, we had the Where's my cursor? There's my mouse here. There we go. And the night of the 22nd, we had the U.S. point there. That was a nice short-term high. And then we went down here, and we had the moon over the Memorial Day weekend. And there you had a nice low. And wait till you see the rest of it. I got all the major currencies here. The big six-pack, right, Larry? The six-pack.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Aussie dollar. Look at that right at the top there. You got the British pound, jolly good, cheerio, and all that sort of thing. And here's the Canadian dollar, and here's the euro, and yeah, it's all winners. Here's the yen right at the high of the month there, and here's the Swiss franc at a very nice high there. So if you add up all the that was 6 out of 6 on the currency thing, and then plus the dollar, that made it 7. If you add up all the green arrows and the red arrows, we got 31 winners, 7 misses out of 38 for 81.58%. So if you add that in with Larry's ABCDs and so forth, I think you got a really great system there. Should be able to make some money. Okay, I'm going to go off the record here now for just a minute. I do this every month. I've been doing this every month since back in the 70s when I started on the CBOE there to do the Bradley model, not the Bradley model, but Bradley. I read Bradley's book back in the early 70s, and he inspired me to do my own thing. And so I quantify all these planetary events and put them on a graph. That's the blue line you see here. I did this in advance. This is for reviewing May. I started May on the 5th of May and ran through the 30th. And there's the blue line that I did in advance back in April. And you can see then I overlay at the end the black bars, the S&P 10-minute bars. And you can see it's not perfect, but there's some pretty nice correlations. And in particular, you see these symbols here are some of the major astrological planetary events. There's if I can get my mouse to go there, you can see the full moon there. Here's my mouse. There we go. Sorry about that. I had trouble following my mouse. Okay, there we go. Right there, that's the full moon right there over the on the 12th, and you can see that one didn't work very well. That was a bad example. Okay, here's Venus at 0 latitude. That was the top, and here's the big one here for the month of May. You had Uranus at apogee on the 19th, and you can see that turned out to be the high of the month, and so forth. And here's Mercury apogee, and that also was a short-term high, and so forth. And here's Mercury, here's your new moon and Mercury, 0 latitude right there, and that was right near that low there. So it's most of them work out pretty well, and I did this all in advance. And if you'd like any more explanation, please feel free to contact me. Now we will gaze into the crystal ball here, Larry, and see what's coming up in the next few days. We got some really great stuff coming up. This is the night, tomorrow night, the 10th, the night of the 10th, into the wee hours of the 11th. We have a full moon in the sign of Sagittarius, and anytime we have full moon, new moon, we want to look at financial screens, precious metals, and oil. And then the night of the 11th into the 12th, here's the one I really want to talk about. Venus will be aphelion. That's a 225-day cycle. And Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus, the bull. And the bull is the cattle are on near all-time highs. So I think you might want to pay attention to that. And if we get a little short-term top here with Venus going to Taurus, get a pullback maybe into the moon, and then it rallies back up and tests the highs, I think you might have a great shorting opportunity there into the opening of the 12th of June. Okay? So anyway, the markets you want to watch for that are cattle, copper, corn, cotton, gold, sugar, wheat. The bigger the extreme, the better, and cattle is certainly at an extreme, so keep your eye on that. And then over the weekend of the 13th, Friday the 13th weekend, we have Jupiter, geocentric Jupiter, 90 degrees of Saturn for coffee and silver. And by the way, I didn't mention that stocks potentially respond to all these events. Okay?
Okay.
I can come back for a minute, right?
Yes, you certainly can. I have a question, too. So we'll be right back with Norm Winski, folks.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
We're back, folks, with Norm Winski. We have a caller asking a question. Who decides whether the Taurus is the bull or what markets it affected by? You said cattle and Taurus, the bull. I mean, what about Neptune? That's crude oil. Who decides what those numbers are to, allocates
let's say that the basic astrological principles that you learn in your basic astrology book are there, and then I've tested them over many years to see whether that works or not. And in some cases, I've added some things that are not in the books, and so forth. So it's the bottom line is it comes down to empirical research, observing these cycles and observing the markets over many years.
Okay, that's a good answer.
If they'd like further explanation, contact me. I'll give them a free class.
You have a chance to give them your contact information right now. We got 1 minute to settle that up, my friend.
All right. Well, I just want to mention I got 50 years experience. I was doing this in college and even more than 50 years ago. And then I made enough money in college to buy a membership on the Chicago Board Options Exchange. in 1975, and then later I was on the Board of Trade, Chicago Board of Trade, and so forth. So I got a little bit of experience. And if you contact first 5 people to contact me, get a 30-minute consultation class. You can ask all the questions you want, and I'll try to answer them. And here's how to get a hold of me. Well, you might have to talk to me on the phone or on Teams or one of these chat boxes, but I'll be happy to help you. I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida, 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. Or you can email me at nwinski@yahoo.com. Or you can also reach me on Teams there. Thank you very much, Larry. Everybody have a great week, great day, great week ahead. And looking forward to helping some of the folks. Please contact me in the next few days. And looking forward to helping the first 5 people for free who contact me.